Breaking news out of WWE, Mandy Rose has been released. This comes just less than a day after she dropped the NXT Women's Championship against Roxanne Perez in that great main event on NXT TV last night. A lot of people were wondering, well, is this going to be the ascent of Toxic Attraction and Mandy Rose onto the main roster, the new and improved Mandy Rose that they've built, that they have created into this actual attraction, a toxic attraction, you could say? No, she's not going to the main roster. She is now gone from the company, and I'll tell you why in just a second. Sean Ross Sapp from Fightful dropped a report on Fightful Select where he says, quote, Fightful has learned that Mandy Rose has been released by WWE. WWE officials felt that they were put in a tough position based on the content she was posting on her Brand Army page. They felt it was outside the parameters of her WWE deal. For those of you who are wondering what her Brand Army page is, it's basically just kind of like it's kind of like a, not an OnlyFans, but a similar type of deal, Patreon OnlyFans type of deal, where fans can pay for certain things. In this case, there were some, to quote one of the reports, some not safe for work things being shared, and that allegedly is what complicated things for WWE. We know that they have been a PG company since 2008. However, those lines have been blurred at times. There have been times that they've tried to be more risque. Essentially, she was released for some risque pictures. And if you ask me, I don't think that this was a fireable offense. I understand if WWE had issues with sponsors or whatever, making a big deal about this. However, I highly doubt that that's the case. At the end of the day, I think this is one of those things where WWE, I guess, put a line down a few years ago. Now, there was a time where WWE was perfectly fine with athletes doing Playboy. Shawn Michaels did Playgirl magazine and things like that. However, that time seems to have passed, and for Mandy Rose, her time in WWE, because of that, seems to have passed. And look, again, I think from whether this is right or wrong, I mean, I leaned towards this is relatively benign compared to some of the other things that people who were with WWE were not fired for. Like, I mean, it's completely benign compared to some of the things that people are accused of in WWE. Like, again, if it's a thing where you had sponsors and you are trying to keep a PG-13 image, I get it. But that doesn't mean that there weren't people who were involved in WWE who didn't at one point share risque photos. I'm just saying, it just seems to me to be very benign. And if you ask me, risk reward type of thing. You had something with Mandy Rose. 400 plus days as NXT women's champion. 400 plus days of dominance. 400 plus days of her completely reinventing herself. Nobody thought Mandy Rose had this in her. Nobody. And she proved everyone wrong. And that's the best part about this story. That was the best part about everything they were doing. Because you were watching it, and it was good. It was good. One of the few things, me personally, as someone who does not watch NXT week to week, one of the few things I always kept up with what Toxic Attraction was doing. And now it's 400 plus days wasted, essentially. I mean, for Mandy Rose, it's not, because I think she's going to have a market outside of WWE for a lot of things. Like, she can go wrestle on the Indies, AEW, wherever, right? She's got the talent to do it, and she's got the chops. She's proven she's been on top for long enough. For WWE, I think this was a misguided and quite frankly wrong decision to come to. Again, we'll see what happens, and we'll see if more news comes out of this. But Mandy Rose released from WWE. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Was this right? Was this wrong? Subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. And as always, be sure to keep it real.